In the spirit of democracy, there is a case to be made for working in a shared office. So we work in an open plan office where there are a number of us on different desks, working away doing our bits and pieces. However, over the last week or 10 days, I've been working in the boardroom because I had to lay out a load of papers on a project I'm working on. And I've discovered something I'd forgotten, and it is that I work better in a space of my own. I don't handle interruptions well. I find it very, very hard to get back on track. So if somebody comes up and asks me a question, it breaks my concentration. I find it very, very hard to get back into what was I doing, where was I exactly. And as a consequence, I tend to get irritated, which isn't helpful for me or indeed for anybody else in the office. So think about this. When you're working, there are times when it's fine to be in the office, and there are times when in fact it's good to be in a separate space where you can close the door and say, don't interrupt me guys, I need 2 or 3 hours to work on a project. We tend not to do this, as I say, in this modern age, but there is a strong case to be made for creating space. Last comment I want to make is I found over that week also that chunking out the time in my diary, actually allocating time, saying I'm going to spend all day today or half a day today just working on this project, putting in my diary like a meeting. I've mentioned this before. I found that very, very helpful. So I say to people, I'm working on the benchmarking document, or I'm working on the recruitment document, or I'm working on the whatever document, and that's what I'm going to be doing for the afternoon. They sort of leave you alone. And I think it's important that we respect each other's space, allow people to work. So think about the idea of chunking stuff into your diary, telling people that you're working on particular projects, creating physical space to allow yourself to do it. You don't always have to be in this common space. We're all one big happy family. Sometimes it's good to be working on your own in a bit of private space.